hit the like button, whatever it is, because we got everything y'all need, man. Listen, and what you ain't looking for, you gonna be looking for it then.
Scribe or Deebo gonna whoop your ass.
Micah Parsons was reported that some of his Cowboys teammates viewed him as egotistical and self-centered. I guess Sports Illustrated reporter Albert Burr, he said Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott are very popular in the locker room. Not the case with Parsons. He wrangled teammates in different ways, seen by some as egotistical and self-centered. His podcast has created issues too that go all the way back to quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak also added that he wasn't completely surprised by Parsons' trade. What do you think of players having podcasts?
I'm not mad at players having podcasts. My thing with players having podcasts is if you're going to be able to take criticism, you're going to be able to give criticism. I think you should be able to, it's like an interview. Like after the games, you can be able to, if you win, you're going to be able to talk to the media. If you lose, you'll be able to talk to the media. Being able to just give constructive criticism and just let them know how you really feel. I think egotistical and self-centered seems personal to me.
Yes.
I want to know who said this. Who's saying that I'm egotistical? Who's saying that I'm self-centered? You know what I'm saying? Put a name to it. It's real easy once you get out the locker room to be like this, oh, that man was egotistical. Nobody was saying that when he was there. Nobody was saying that when he was sacking everybody up. So I just need people to put names to that. And it seems a little personal to me because nobody was saying that when he was making $2.9 million last year. When he left for the 47 ball, now he's egotistical.
So my thing is this. I think that all players are self-centered to a point. Yes. And when it comes down to it, you have to be, because this is a business. I think what may have happened there, he let the business of football kind of get into the locker room and ruin the personal relationships that he built with those players. And, when that get involved and you start to lose the locker room, that's not something that coaches want, especially, when you're trying to create and get that Lombardi. You don't want discord in your locker room.
No, 1,000%.
Yeah. I understand what they're saying, but to the point of it's not really self-centered. Everybody's self-centered. Egotistical, like you said, I find that being very personal. The feelings, a lot of these players nowadays, they are very sensitive. They really shouldn't be getting into their feelings. Like when we played, back in 2007 to I believe 2012, our defense was ranked 1-1, 5-2, and 1-1 in those years. But we were highly, critical of each other. We were critical, of ourselves, and we held each other accountable. It was, it was nothing to yell and scream at a guy. I go back to stories where you got Casey Hampton and you got Foot, and Hampton's our big nose tackle. He clogging up the middle. He holding up two guys all the time. So they'll get maybe 4 or 5 yards on the run, and then maybe they'll get 4 or 5 yards later on. And the first thing Hamp would do, he'd be like, God dang, what the hell y'all doing back there, man? Y'all go stop and make a tackle or what? And this is like 4 or 5 yards. So you got Foot and Hamp right there, and they're arguing. And the ref is like, who you talking to? Like, they think we arguing with the other team, but we talking to his own players. About to get a flag, man. So that was something that, I was used to, even when I first got to the Steelers, you're going to be held accountable. What you do and don't do is going to be pointed out. Bill Cowher, dude, when we watch special teams, the whole team watched special teams together, and he pointed out everybody that did something wrong, did not do a block right. Like, so we're going into meetings like, yo, man, how'd you play on special teams, bro?
No, for sure.
I don't know, man. I kind of missed that one block. So I think today's, players are very, very sensitive when it comes to, being corrected.
When you saying that, it makes perfect sense, because the eye in the sky doesn't lie. And if a coach can show you on the tape and you can take accountability, That's me out there messing up, doing that wrong, and not being able to have somebody like you did that, being able to be like, no, that's me, coach. That's on me. I got the next one. You know what I'm saying? Being able to take that criticism, not being like, nobody trying to do one up you or let you know, but that's not acceptable. Like if it's on the tape, then it's not good. If you're doing good things on the tape, we're going to let you know that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's the way it needs to be done. So praising the right stuff. And when you do the wrong stuff, being able to take it on the chin and be like, nobody trying to clown you, bro. We just know that that's not going to work. We're going to lose with that. You know what I'm saying?
And then, like with him, holding in, as they say, and, saying, that he had an issue with his back and all that other stuff. Guys either know or don't know. You can't tell somebody if their back is hurting, but that's something else where I believe Mike Flores, he reported that, the next CBA will find a way to try and stop the hold-ins. He said the hold-in process gives players who are willing to cite injury, real or imagined, and not play the real power. Its ultimate goal is it ultimately gave Parsons the power to get out of Dallas. It's power the NFL wants to keep. The NFL doesn't want players to have it. So what do you think could be done, or what do you think could happen in the next collective bargaining agreement that would try and oust that?
So the NFL basically, like, this is the thing. It is a business. It is a business. I think with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and with the dudes on the team, the teammates, you understand that he's going through negotiations. He doesn't want to put himself out there. He's making $2 million. He's about to be making $40 to $50 million per year. It's no point of going out there. And if you are a Cowboys fan or a Cowboys teammate, you're looking at his situation a little different from, like, he's.
So how do you think the NFL will try and attack this with the CBA, though?
I think the NFL, man, they going. I mean, you can't tell me my back's not hurt. So I'm trying to figure out what specifically they can do to get me to practice or get me to not practice. I think when he's there getting treatment and saying things like that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can have to say, if you're going to go get an MRI, you're going to go do all this stuff. But at the same time, you can't tell me that my back doesn't hurt. You can't tell me my back isn't tight. Like,
I think, go ahead.
It's going to be tough for them to make that, you know what I'm saying? Make NFL players have to do that. I think so.
I think we need, when I say we, the NFLPA, I think they need way, way stronger leadership. And I go all the way back to, the 2011 lockout. You were there for that, right?
Yeah.
My biggest issue with that was we had poor leadership. DeMaurice Smith, I think he was trash, dude, when it really come down to it. I should be president. That's what it should come down to. I really should be president.
I hear you. I'm here for it, Deebo. I'm voting for you. Come on, tell me.
The first thing I would do is I would stop letting players vote that are not vested into the program that they're voting for. So you got 53 players on the team, right? You got another, what is it now, 6 or 8, 10? So you got 63 total
10
players,
yeah,
right?
10, 11 practice squads.
Okay, so now you go into the season and they bring in an extra 50 guys, right? Those extra 50 guys get to vote on the collective bargaining agreement. Now, if I'm a rookie, yes, I'm going to vote yes. I don't care what's in there. Why? Because I get an opportunity to make $500,000 to multi-millions of dollars. I don't care what's in the collective bargaining agreement. But you're not probably going to be there. The average NFL career is 3.5 years. To get vested, it takes you 4 years and 4 games to get vested, right? Yeah. With that being the case, you're allowing people who will have no
say
in the pod say for something that won't happen. So I think the NFLPA should make a ruling. That's the first one, that if you aren't vested into this, you cannot have a vote into this. The second thing I think they should allow is players, you get 5 years of health care after you're out. Players who are still on that health care plan, still into the NFLPA, they need to be able to have a vote. The biggest issue I had with D. Smith was you were put in position to make the hard decisions. And when it came time to make the hard decisions, you let the majority of what he's told me was 80% of guys are saying, yo, I need to go back to work. I don't have this. I don't have that. Didn't they tell us for 2 years to save up your money so that you had enough to last a year of a lockout? They did. The guys that didn't listen, I'm sorry, but me being the president of the NFLPA, I'm trying to take care of past, present, and future. What he did was worried about the guys that didn't listen and didn't do what they were supposed to do. And for me, that is a trash move. I'm not going to allow my son to do something that I know is not good for him. You were put in a position of power where you can make that decision. Mm-hmm. I had guys on other teams that were like, dude, we didn't even vote. We went in and they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to practice. Everything passed. How did y'all's go, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of the same way. I think the vested players, the older guys, the dudes that were really in the league for a minute, were reading it. We're reading the contract, was trying to figure out to try to get the best deal. A lot of dudes, some other dudes, like you said, that didn't save up, weren't really ready for it. Like, man, living more paycheck to paycheck. They like, this is my second year in the league. I need to go get this check. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Right. So that's what they're counting on. They're counting on the guys in years 2, 3, 4 that didn't do what they were supposed to do. Now they're going to be that extra, 10% or whatever it may be. That's going to put them at the 51% that they need to get it passed.
No,
as the NFLPA president, I think the biggest thing they need to do is make it to where you cannot vote on the CBA unless you are vested into it. And I think that would make it a whole lot more beneficial for us as players, past, former, all that, to be able to get the things that really matter. I mean, look at the collective bargaining agreement, I think, that just passed. The biggest thing in there was, hey, we don't get suspended for smoking weed. Come on, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. They're keeping that over the NFL's head because weed is something that they need to let it be legal. They need to not test dudes for weed because at the end of the day, that is medical.
I can't agree with that.
Let me tell you this, Deebo. Let me tell you why I say this. Well, I'm gonna tell you why I say this.
Okay.
Because if you're going to tell me that somebody can't go and do their job, they can drink and go on the job, you'll get fired. If you're there high and can't practice, you're going to get fired. Nobody's going to want to lose their job over some weed, or maybe they might. But that's going to be their prerogative. They're grown. They're an adult. They can go smoke weed. They can go drink right before practice and come there. They better be on time. They have to do their meetings. That's your job. That's your profession. Nobody got to tell me what I can go do on my recreational time.
Yeah, but you also got to understand that I believe and I see that a lot of these NFLPA reps or people that are working for the NFLPA, it looks like half of them are trying to get a job at the NFL. I mean, you go prime example. Look at Troy Vincent. He was an NFLPA rep person. He worked for the NFLPA. Next thing you know, he's gone. Now he's working for the NFL. That was during that whole time, when Upshaw ended up passing away, sadly, and they switched over, and then Maurice came in and he shot over to the NFL, and now all of a sudden, this thing, gets passed with flying colors, where you had teams talking about we didn't even vote. I mean, I understand all they needed was 51%, but like it doesn't make sense, and it seems like it's some self-sabotage going on in the NFLPA with them making it possible for the NFL to just glide over with these CBA agreements, man.
No, I feel you. I think you just want better representation strictly for the players, and I think that you feel like they're in a little bit of cahoots. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, not trying to protect us as much as we should.
Cahoots. I'll give you cahoots. So I'll go back to the whole Al Jazeera thing where they were saying that I was on GH and there was all these other players on GH, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the lawyer that the NFLPA gave me, she said she was close friends with D. Smith. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I sit down with her and I'm talking to her. She's asking me all the questions. Have you ever did this? Have you ever did that? No, I ain't did this. I ain't did that. I was telling her some stuff that my father had did. I had did some alternative treatments for him because he had cancer and so on and so forth. She's like, well, did you, do this, do that? No, I didn't do none of that, blah, 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 right? Yeah. So I get into the meeting with the NFL lawyers who are trying to make like I did something that I didn't do. And I'm in there with her as my representative, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sit down in the meeting, and the first thing the NFL lawyers tell me is, okay, So your dad, you know, he had cancer. He did some alternative treatments. You say you didn't do none of that. Are you sure about that? If I was guilty and had told her this, she would have ran and told them everything. And that's the representation you sent for me as the NFLPA attorney to defend me? You're crazy. Dude, it was out of control.
No, okay, no, I can respect that. You did that's wicked.